And we're back. So LJ, so first off, so you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, at least we would define ourselves that way, right? So I think we would. Maybe there's days we really wouldn't. Just gonna say. But the way that I define it is, I tell people this all the time: entrepreneurs own businesses, but they're not necessarily business owners. And people are like, well, what do you mean? And I said, it really is a mindset. And so let's guys start with the entrepreneur here, because I really do believe it's a mindset. Oftentimes when we found a company to begin with, it doesn't matter what type of company we're founding, so if it's an organization to go out and really do some social things in the world and help solve a societal problem, or if it's a business that, we're going to do pottery here, right? It doesn't really matter, but typically speaking, most of us, when we found a company, we kind of go from eventually working for somebody else to being what we would call self-employed. So on paper, we might legally have a business because we set up that legal entity, but we really just, in the early stages, a lot of times, right, we've created a job for ourselves, which nothing wrong with that.
That's the ideal.
And
I think that you're right. It's the ideal situation is that if nothing else, you created a job for yourself. And, it's actually on point, because if you look at, I think the Small Business Administration recently published statistics related to like women in business. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it, the vast majority of those women in business, they're solopreneurs. Yeah. So I think it's like 70+% of these businesses, had just them as employees. And I think that when you look at this project economy, right, it's a global project economy. When you look at the economy, to your point earlier, when you think about intrapreneurs, most of your intrapreneurs are going to have some sort of entrepreneurial spirit, right? Mm-hmm. They probably have their own business on the side. Right. Or ultimately they're looking to, start and grow their own businesses. I think that is at consequence now to just survival, right? It's survival, but it's also right. Wealth generation. It's when we look at investing and, people, if you invest in any sort of coins or NFTs or any other sort mm-hmm. of DeFi technology, people look at you and they, kind of like, you're almost like a pariah. But the reality is that a lot of people are getting into this digital sort of wallet and trading Bitcoin and right. trading Doge and all these other coins, because they're realizing that they can get some real return on that quickly, like in the near term. You can trade that and get some real return on your dollars invested quickly, instead of having to hold out for, with your traditional investment mm-hmm. vehicles, your CDs and money market accounts, and those things are giving you fractions of percentages, in terms of APY, when you can go in and put it into something like Bitcoin, let it jump however many 15, 20% in a matter of a week. Right. You take your profits. That's what we're talking about. So I think when we're talking about true entrepreneurship, it's to your point, it is a mindset. It goes beyond just owning, mm-hmm. A business. It goes beyond that. Does. It goes into, what type of, when you go to work for someone, because even when you're an entrepreneur, mm-hmm. you're still working for other people. Oh, and yeah, you're still working definitely. For other organizations. You never, I don't care if you're Jay-Z or, Elon Musk, I don't care who you are. They all work for somebody, okay? If you want to get paid, you want a contract, you got to work for somebody. So it's not that you have issues with working with people per se. It's just that you want to be able to own the means of your own production. And that is what we're talking about. I think when we think about capitalism and we think about sort of the future, like tomorrow workforce, tomorrow's workforce those individuals, these people who are going to be working in tomorrow's workforce, are trying to curb the things that we've seen traditionally, the pay gap.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get paid the same for their work, regardless of their race, regardless of their gender, regardless of their geographic location, etc.
Right.
They want health care. They want the same boutique health care that, congressmen have access to. These
Exactly.
types of things that have, sort of created a wedge between have and have nots for the longest time. Entrepreneurship is a cure to that.
It is.
And I think it's to your point of it being a mindset. It goes beyond just owning those businesses. It's about truly the mindset that shift. It's a paradigmatic shift in how we do business with one another and how we transact business, with government entities and other public entities and private entities, nonprofits, school districts. It helps us to shift that paradigm that's traditionally left a lot of people out, not based on merit or things that matter, but based on, social strata
Right.
that really, are frivolous at the end of the day.
Well, it is. And the thing is Robert Kiyosaki talks about this in how you kind of move from this self-employed mentality, depending. Some people just want to be self-employed / freelance. They want to be solopreneurs. They're happy. They set up whatever the legal structure is that, their accountant and their attorney says would be beneficial. And that's it. And just so everybody who's listening knows, that's okay. I don't think people hear that enough. That's okay. But there's this thing about with the business, when you're moving into business and really owning a business, you got to have some other people who surround you. It never has to be a big team. And there's different ways you can do that between folks that are entrepreneurs. So maybe there are other business owners that you're collaborating with, or you hire a couple intrapreneurs to help you that have skill sets and stuff that are complementary, or sometimes even exact opposite of you, because sometimes that's what you need too, to help you move. And as you're moving through this, your mindset is shifting into where you get to the intrapreneur mindset, as I look at it as, which is that we recognize that there's a lot of different revenue streams. There's a lot of different ways to work with people. There's a lot of different avenues and opportunities to go down, and you start really truly controlling is maybe not the right word, but just basically how you work for other people, how you produce things, what you say yes to, what you say no to, and that you have the ability to structure your work and what you're gifted at doing and everything, so that it also works with the rest of your life. And it's not even there really is no such thing as balance. So it's not even really about that, but it's about having, not really. I mean, let
them know, Jocelyn. Let them know.
But it's about really controlling the way that you want to be, having the freedom to control the way that you want to live and be and do. And one of the biggest things I know, and LJ, I know you and I've talked about it too, is about the stop working 9 to 5 for other people, unless what you're doing requires you to actually really work 9 to 5. That's what you did as the employee. Stop that. And that's part of the mindset that I think LJ and I are talking about, and that I'm talking about as you're moving on to that entrepreneur spirit. But the intrapreneur also recognizes that. Now, that doesn't mean, though, because a lot of times your intrapreneurs, they may be your operations people or even your executive officer, depending on how you're structured, and they're running the day-to-day for you. So of course they have to show up however your operations are going, right? But where you might not be in the office all the time, so to speak, you know. Although today, after the last 18 months, I think we can all agree that the office has really changed. So that's probably a whole different discussion for LJ and I to have as far as that goes. But right.
But you know, it's like you said, this is the problem too, though, right? Is the entrepreneur, when we talk about mindset, the entrepreneur has for too long not been empowered.
Yeah.
To be the entrepreneur. You know, I think a lot of times people think of an entrepreneur as like you said, just a C-suite operations person. But reality is that your entrepreneur should be everyone, from your janitors to, you know, your teacher to your principals to everyone within your system. You should have people who are committed to driving value and being a champion. You know, they manage projects, they lead projects, and they do so with tenacity and with care and with support because of the fact that they're, you know, passionate and very much in tune to the organization, and they, you know, understand your mission and they understand your vision statements, and, you know, they sort of embody those mission and vision statements. Like that's, we're trying to also usher in this new era with the Global Intrapreneur Network of understanding that the workplace decisions, the workplace is as strong or as capable as decisions are made at the correct level. They need to be made at the correct level. That level doesn't have to be a title, doesn't have to be someone who's, you know, not entry level. It could be someone who's entry level. The reality is that we have to rely on people to get work done so that we can be successful. And that means that we have to empower these people to not only have a voice so that we can, you know, actually be looking at opportunities for continuous improvement, but also to make sure that we're actually serving our customers, our end users, our business partners, our, you know, government elected officials, our other constituents. We have a better opportunity to serve all of these different stakeholder groups when we are making sure that we have empowered the people at the right level to make the decisions that impact their day-to-day. We want to make sure that they are taken care of. Mm-hmm. And that's what it comes down to. The entrepreneur is only as strong and is only as effective as their entrepreneur. If their entrepreneur does not know that they can make decisions, does not know that they have a voice in the day-to-day, does not know that they can identify areas of improvement and that they can be the ones to implement, usher in those improvements. If they don't understand those things, then the entrepreneur is not doing their part. You're not doing your job. Your job is not to yourself. Your job is to the people who are within your care.
Can I just get that big amen? No, I mean, it is, that's a home run. You know, I was thinking about it because, you know, like a lot of us who have open businesses and stuff over the years, you grow as your business grows. You know, like my company, which is, you know, kind of boggles my mind, but it's over 20 years old at this point. And I'm like, you know, but I look at like even how much I've grown, right, over time. Yeah. And you learn so much of the stuff and where we've been going the last couple of years, even as a company and starting, and it's been kind of an interesting journey because in some respects, as I've grown and things have come in empowering my folks, in some cases, I still have to remind them that they're empowered to go make the decision, or if they see an opportunity that they know fits within, they're empowered to show up, bring that to us, or even make the decision on it and let me know. And, you know, that's why it's such an interesting journey as the entrepreneur too, because you grow too. I mean, your business grows, you grow, the people with you grow. You know, I'd like to say I'm a perfect human being, but you know, that's not true. So, but
we wish.
I mean, I love what you just said there, though. I mean, I really, really do, because it just captures so much. And if more companies and stuff would start embracing that to actually put it into their culture,
Yes.
think of, I mean, how we could change the world. But before we close here, you brought something up that I was just talking with my husband about the other day, about the fact that we're not actually entering a new work era. It seems like we are, but we aren't, because what we're actually doing is going back to what worked for like thousands of years, up until we hit the Industrial Revolution. And then all of a sudden we shifted everything. And so people are really stepping back into how humankind works the best. And I really think that it's really exciting that we're going back to going back to what worked, and getting out of, you just go take a job and you're there for 45, 50, 60 years, depending on whether you like it or not. And I mean, this whole thing, because I don't know about you. I had somebody like a week ago say to me, well, do you have a plan B? I'm like, what's plan B? I don't have plan B. This is plan A. This works or this works. I mean, with all of its messiness of entrepreneurship, this has to, this is what needs to work. And,
Amen.
I think that's why, yeah. So we could probably do like 6 more episodes on this one topic here, guys.
We need to, because there's a whole thing to discuss about the role of the entrepreneur and how important, we talk a lot about entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs always get the love. They always get the spot. And I love that. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. I respect you immensely. And I understand that we do want to, talk about the journey. It's a very difficult journey. But I think that nowadays there's a lot of glorification of entrepreneurship because people don't understand that the intrapreneurs are the ones who actually make our jobs possible. When I think about your team, I think about my team, without them, this would not be any of this, right? Exactly. And it's I think that there needs to be more said about them and their role in ensuring the success of business, and then also their role in ensuring the diversity and the accessibility and the new knowledge generation and everything that comes with doing work in the communities that we serve. They are the face. They are the ones who people are either left with a nice, warm, fluffy feeling with, or they're left with that, oh, okay, they're very transactional. I won't call them again unless I absolutely have to,
Exactly.
So there's a lot to be said about the role of the entrepreneur.
Well, and I think that, you're during this season 2 here, you're going to hear us talk a lot about the entrepreneur, about just all the roles as a whole, the various different entrepreneur roles, the various different levels, decision levels, empowering them, and how it can really help you grow your organization or your business or whatever you're doing. Because there's a whole side to if we want to look at entrepreneurs, there's a whole side in just relationships on that. Even in, if you look at your household, and we often don't look at our households that way either, but that's a whole different thing. So I'm sure that y'all, if you're listening to this, you're seeing some common theme that we're going to start off with here. And we're this season, we intend to bring some guests on as well to have some of these deeper conversations that fit within what LJ and I are thinking. And as always, all of this applies to both for-profit and nonprofit businesses.
Amen.
So we want you to go out there, be the best that you can be, serve your community the best that you can.
Amen. And let us know if you want to be a guest. Reach out. You can always reach out to us on social or send us an email.
Yep. Okay. Well, we will see you on our next episode. Bye.